Addy4 here for a quick little vlog. I'm practicing on the Fender 70th anniversary Esquire. This is the one with the single pickup, and it's got the roasted pine body. It's kind of weird. It's got a. I'll have to look it up, but I don't remember the first Esquires coming out having a roasted pine body. I remember them having pine bodies, but I don't remember them having roasted pine bodies. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But you notice it's got a traditional thick Fender neck, no fretboard, the usual accoutrements that go with a aged or a anniversary edition guitar. Has a Tim Shaw pickup, which is super duper hot. Here's what it sounds like. My favorite position is the middle. My favorite position with this amp setup right now seems to be the middle position on the three-way pickup switch. Don't ask me what it's mimicking, but to me, it sounds like a hot neck pickup is what it sounds like. When it's in the first position, this sounds like a really hot single coil. When he goes to the second, it's more of a mellow, not quite so hot, not quite so touchy. And then in the third position, it kinda. Kinda, on occasion, sounds like a full neck pickup, but a super duper hot full neck pickup, man. I love that Tim Shaw pickup, but I'm also one of those guys that likes the new generation of Fender noiseless pickups. So, yeah, it's a cool guitar. It's difficult for me, especially for the super thick Fender neck. But this guitar just sounds so sweet. I've taken it on the road once with me, and it will never go back out on the road. Just like Les Paul 666 or Strat 666, those are guitars that you keep at home and you cherish at home. You don't take them out on the road, man. They're just too fucking nice, you know. And for me, this one, there's no way in hell I could ever replace this guitar. One, they don't make them anymore. And two, for me to buy this guitar now, I'm sure it's got to be the $3,000 to $4,000 range. I didn't even come close to paying that. But I'm sure now of easily $3,000 to $4,000. So yeah, this is what I'm enjoying right now. I went to sleep. I slept for about 2 hours and I woke up in a puddle of my own sweat. And so I got up and decided to practice and do a vlog. Um, what else do I want to talk about? Oh, crypto. Yeah, there's nothing to talk about, man. I sold all my HODL off. It reached the point where I was actually going to start going into the negative on my HODL. And I don't like going into the negative unless I need to accept some losses. And right now, I don't need to accept some losses besides what I already have. So I sold everything off except for what was in what was being staked. I mentioned on the Easy Ravioli blog a little while ago, hey man, we might be hitting a crypto winter. And unless they come up with a budget, open the government back up, I don't see any real gains happening anytime soon. Now the spikes that you're seeing on individual cryptos, there's two things going on. There's either people buying in at this time, or it's a pump and dump. Okay, it's that simple. I mean, everything I have is well below what I paid for it a year ago. Matter of fact, it's well below what I paid for it last week. So what I did is I sold off my HODL, still in the green, sold off my HODL. And as soon as I did that, it's amazing. Everything kept going down farther. So I made a wise decision, I think, because I don't see anything going up anytime soon unless the government opens back up, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. Keep your eyes out. There are a lot of damn good deals going on. Polkadot's at what, 280? Aptos is at $3, something like that. They're all at fucking bargain basement prices. But the longer the government is closed, the better the deal is going to be. Okay. Yeah. So that's the end of crypto, man. If you do buy, be wary. Okay. Now for the job situation. Yeah, I don't work for carriers anymore. After 23 years, we're gonna round up 3.5 million accident-free miles. I finally said, "Fuck you." I'd had enough, and I'd been searching for a job, a local job here, for like the last 2-3 months. Man, I was taking all sorts of time off, all sorts of fucking vacation time, and nobody in management, I guess, figured it out. So they were kind of shocked when I accepted a job here, and I still had my Crete truck here, and I said, hey, luckily they'd given me a load already going by the Salt Lake terminal, and I said, hey, when I go by the Salt Lake terminal, I'm going to dump the truck, I'm going to empty it out, and I'm going to go home. And so they were like, cool, right on. And so I did that, and I've been posting to the blog over at roach.es for all about it. And I was taking pictures of Cujo there, riding in the passenger seat, having a great time, man. But yeah, it's been an interesting ride so far. I'm 2 UA urinalysis, drug tests into 2 different jobs, and I'm like, I over prepare, and yeah, I'm floating still. But yeah, pre-hire requirements in the FMCSA rulebook says I do have to take a pre-hire drug test, and I've taken 2 of them. I mentioned what the 3 jobs that were available to me, and one of them was with waste management, and I was just like, I'm dealing with this recruiter, and it's just like it's a fucking bigger nightmare than it's actually worth. And if it's this much of a hassle to deal with the recruiter, imagine what it's like working there. So I was like, no, fuck that. Great gig though. They were offering 35 to start. Um, and I'm pretty sure I could have got them up to 40 because that was 35 to 40 was their start point, an hour. But see, the thing is they were only allowing, you were doing a 4 10s, 4 10-hour days. But, you know, they were saying there's not much for overtime and shit like that. And I'm like, you know, it's cool. I got a fifth day there that I could go out and do something else. Still be able to go home and do my reset. But you know, I mean, that recruiting thing was just a fucking nightmare. I don't want to deal with it because, like I said, if they're that much of a nightmare to deal with in recruiting, you can only imagine what sort of a nightmare they are to deal with in real life to work there. The other one was a non-union FedEx gig. Great deal, man. They were offering a decent wage, and you were home every night, and you know they were paying. You got pretty much a base salary every day, depending on how far you drove. But no matter what, you would make $300 a day. So if you reported to work, the way the lady explained it to me, if you reported for work and you only drove for 2 hours, you still got paid $300 for that day. Now, if you did a full day's work, you got up to $350 a day plus incentives plus bonuses. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. That one, man, I'm still waiting for FedEx to fucking approve me. They got a big background check deal for FedEx. And it's been delay after delay after delay. Like the last delay was they couldn't get a hold of my hey Cujo. They couldn't get a hold of my previous employer to verify my employment. I'm like, I don't know why. There's an HR department. Fuck, the lady that answers the phone should be able to tell you that much. You know, yeah, he worked here. Yeah, he was here 23 years. He's got all these awards and credentials. I don't know what the fuck is up with that shit, but I don't give a fuck. But the job I did take, I'm not gonna tell you about it just yet. Seems decent. It's right down the street from the house. The pay, I could do better elsewhere, but you know, they're offering what I want to do. And so I'm going to give it a shot. Now, I don't know what it was. I had no idea what it was like to work for that company. I had never run across any drivers that had worked there. And so when I got done with my last interview and I did my drive test, which is another funny story, I was hopping in that rental car to take it back because that's what I drove down there to do the last interview and fill out all the paperwork and find out where I take my UA and all that shit. And I hopped in the car and I was pulling out. I see this lady walking in. Never seen this lady before. And the only reason I stopped her was because I wanted to ask her, what's it like, even though you're not in the same department, what's it like for you to work here? Do you enjoy it? Is it a good place to work? Does it have positive energy? Is it like Crete? And I didn't tell her the name of the company. Where there's a shitload of people that are so fucking negative and so selfish and greedy that it becomes a fucking toxic, hostile work environment. Or is it cool? She looked at me and she goes, I've worked here 8 years. I love it to death, the department I work in. I love it to death. I come to work happy. You know, as happy as one can be going to work. And she said it's got a great fucking retirement plan. And she's looking me dead in the eyes when she's telling me this. So obviously she truly believes this. And it was quite refreshing to hear that. you know, because as a driver, you ask another driver what it's like to work at another company that they either quit or got fired from, you're not going to hear a positive thing about it. Matter of fact, you won't hear a positive thing about them even if they're still fucking working there, unless they're looking for that fucking new hire bonus that they're trying to, get some dumbass driver to fucking get hired on there. So it was interesting. It was an unusual experience for me because I'd never heard anybody talk that positive about a company that they go to work for every day. So it was interesting. We'll see how it goes. The next time I go down there, because I have, more bullshit to deal with, because that's the way it works when you're a governmentally regulated driver. You got so much paperwork to fill out, so many background checks to fill out, and all this and that. The only cool thing about it is being with a company for so long that they want 10 years of your work history, and you just write down one one place. So that's the only cool thing about working for the same company for 23 fucking years. But yeah, there's just so much bullshit that's got to go, But I took a drive test. I haven't taken a drive test in 23 fucking years. I don't even remember taking one for Crete, but I'm sure I did. So it's weird, man. I have 5 million miles of driving under my belt in the last 30 years. I know how to drive a truck. I know how to drive doubles. I know how to drive triples. I'm iffy on tankers because I didn't do that a lot. I can drive 48s. I can drive 53s. I can drive Rocky Mountain doubles. I've done a lot in those 30 years. And I've, like I said, 5 million fucking miles, right? Or real close to it. Because if you figure, I was with Crete for 23 years, and I did a lot of running in the 90s and early 2000s when things were a lot different in the trucking industry. I easily am real close to 5 million miles. But I go to get in this drive. I am so fucking nervous. It is unbelievable. I mean, I'm sure that vein on the side of my neck was pounding. It's the weirdest thing, man. It's funny, and it's just the weirdest thing. The dude that gave me the drive test, he was really cool. He was extremely knowledgeable about the workings of their trucks. I have never driven or seen disc brakes on a 18-wheeler before. And all of their equipment is disc brake powered. So as the guy's explaining it to me, I'm just like, wow, this is cool. This guy's giving me a fucking full-on lesson on disc brakes on commercial vehicles, on 18-wheelers. It was the coolest thing, man. I mean, my drive test took like almost 2 fucking hours, and we went through the pre-trip and all that. I also found out something else, man. Forever, when I get into a brand new truck or a truck that is brand new to me, the frame, especially on the back, on the frame, you have what look like bolts, right? And forever, I have been checking those bolts on a truck I just get into or am new to make sure that none of them are loose or rotate, so they're not loose. Well, come to find out, they're not fucking bolts. They are. He explained it to me. They're rivets. They're threaded rivets, and I was like, "So you mean I have been testing them on trucks that I just get for loose bolts, and they're fucking rivets with threads?" Yeah. I was like, oh man. He goes, well, on a good note, if they're loose, then you know it's bad. But if you're trying to spin it off, check to see if the threads are loose or the nut is loose. You're wasting your time, man. I was like, oh, fuck. So you learn something new every day, man. It was cooler than shit. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. The guy was really cool. He talked a lot, but he was really fucking cool. And I learned a lot from this dude just in the 2 hours I dealt with him. But, who knows? And he also know I'm really experienced driver. So, hopefully this works out because it's everything I wanted to do. And when I quit Crete, I already knew pretty much what I wanted to do, man. I love driving, but I also want to be home every night. I gave up several jobs that paid better than Crete, and they wanted me to be out for a week and then come home. I'm like, no, I want to be home every night. I mean, we're talking the low 130,000 a year to drive out for a week and then come back home. And I'm like, no, man, I want to be home every night. I knew what I wanted to do. I've been driving, 30 fucking years. I'm tired of being on the road. I'm tired of sleeping in a truck. I want to be home, snuggling up to the neighbor's wife down the road in my own fucking bed every night, okay? That's a joke. The neighbors I would fuck are farther down, and it's too far for me. So I knew what I wanted. I posted one interview I went on with a company, a good company. They're part of the PFG companies. And, I posted on the blog. I was like, I went to the interview and I was like, well, one, I don't like the lady that's giving the interview. Something just rubbed me wrong about her. She reminded me of Janelle out of the Salt Lake terminal. And I was like, no, I already know that vibe and I don't dig it. So they didn't offer me the job. They actually refused the job to me because of my lack of customer service experience. And that was one thing in a job I don't want to do. I deal with customers now and it's fine. And if I'm in a position where like if I work for PFG where I'm unloading boxes at a fucking Taco Bell and, one of the managers comes up to me and says, hey, can we fix this? That's something I can deal with. Or I can point them in the direction of the person that they need to speak with to fix the problem. But shit like that I'm fine with. But being a fucking customer service agent isn't part of my job description. And I'm not really a people person. So that didn't work out. And I'm glad it didn't work out. But yeah, when I quit, before I quit, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And so far, I'm on track to do that, and I gave up quite a few very well-paying jobs to do it. But man, it's time to fucking have a life outside of a truck, and that's what I'm attempting to do. And most of all, when I started driving, I had to give up all my friends. Okay. And working for the company I did, OTR, you pull into a yard, 9 times out of 10, that guy you were talking to while you were sitting there, he's not going to be there in 6 months. He's not going to be there in a year. Everyone I hired on with 23 years ago, long gone, man, long gone. If they aren't, they quit and came back like 15 fucking times in the 23 years I'd been there. So I didn't even bother attempting other than jovial conversation with people because 9 times out of 10, I'm never going to fucking see you again. So, I had to give up those friends. I had to give up friends at home, and it's time to get back to a normal fucking life, because You can run 12 to 14,000 miles a month, but you're going to give up, man. You're going to give up a lot to do it because you ain't doing that running local, man, and being home every night. I don't give a shit who the fuck you are. Unless you got a dedicated gig where you're running exactly 600 miles a day. You're going to have, and here in the state of Oregon, Washington, and California, it's going to be real hard for you to run 600 miles a day. So, you know, what can I say, man? What can I say? Yeah, I can't put those numbers together to get it to work. So, yeah, you're not going to make 12 to 14,000 miles a month running local. Not legally, at least. Because you also got, you know, nights at home, and then you got to do a reset. Yeah, no, you ain't gonna do that, man. No. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. I'm enjoying the downtime between jobs at the moment. I'm getting ready to do Uber Eats and what's that other food delivery deal? I've always wanted to do that, man. But I couldn't. So I'm getting ready to do that starting here pretty soon. In between while I'm waiting in between jobs, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It just sounds like so much fun, man. Getting paid to drive around and deliver dudes people's food. I even got some really good rubber gloves to wear because I know when the Uber Eats dude used to deliver to the truck, I fucking hated it. They would breathe on the bag and shit. It's like it's like the bag has been sitting in your crotch area all the way here, so it doesn't smell. Yeah, I don't dig that, man. So yeah, I got a special pair of rubber gloves and everything. I'm all excited. Um, and I can take Pooch along, even better. What else we got going on? Oh yes. I sold off some of the higher end guitars that I no longer play. Like that red one there will never be sold. That's my original guitar that started this all. Um, and so is that Ibanez that I bought in Salt Lake City at Mars Music, at the defunct Mars Music in Salt Lake City back in 2005. But I'm parting ways with, I got a large guitar collection, man, and I'm parting ways with half of it. We got somewhere around 100 guitars, so I'm parting ways with 50 of them. I let go of a few of the higher end guitars. Matter of fact, I sold one today down there to Thunder Road Guitars. It was a Les Paul flat top special that for me was wound too tight. Every time I touched the neck, I felt like it was about ready to snap at any time. This is the only guitar I've ever had that issue with. I played that guitar once, maybe twice. It was a 2012. So I'd had that fucker for 12 fucking years, right? Um, the plastic was still on the pick guard. So I let that one go. But I'm letting my more low end and middle range guitars because I got a lot of them. Squires, Jackson Pros. Um, you know, they follow the gamut of prices from $250 Squire to a $1,500 Charvel to my Jacksons, my lower end Jacksons Pros. Um, but yeah, I'm letting them go. I'm gonna let about 50 guitars go. I spoke with a guy today. He said if I send him pictures, he'll buy them all in one big lot. And I'm like, that benefits him. I got to see how that was going to benefit me besides getting rid of them all at once. If he offers me a good price for the 50 I'm looking to get rid of, then cool, I'll do it. But if he's going to lowball me, I probably will let him go individually. But we're going to see. This is not one of the guitars, okay? This is one of my babies, just like 22, 17. Those are all guitars I plan on keeping. All of my favorite higher end guitars, my G&Ls, I'll keep all of those. I will let a couple of G&L tributes go. But not my Comanche, man. I love that Comanche for some reason. There's a G&L tribute Comanche in blue, I think it is. I don't know. Special color. So, yeah, that's the plan. So tomorrow I got to sit down and start going through every one of those fucking guitars. And start letting them go, man. 50 at a time. Or 50 of them. That's a general guesstimate of how many I got. But yeah, like my Godans and my higher end Fenders, my Les Pauls I'll hold on to. But the lower end and middle range guitars that I don't play often or at all, I'll probably let go. I do have a couple of Charvels I have to keep. They're just beautiful guitars. But the rest of them, yeah, man, if I'm not going to play them, let's get them out there to somebody else who will and enjoy them as much as I did when I had them. But that Les Paul Special I had to let go of, man. It's kind of like that Ibanez RG 950 QM, man. You give me $1,000 now or $750 for it now, you're walking away with that guitar and case. Perfect NOS. You know, what's the word that you use on reverb for excellent guitars? Anyways, excellent condition guitars. Anyways, mint. There we go. It's mint. Yeah, that guitar, man. I could never really enjoy it because of the neck flex. And if you're not going to take it out on the road, man, it's going to be a great guitar for somebody. I just never really was able to enjoy it. That like I said, that Les Paul Jr., man, that neck just felt way too overwound for me. Like you know, just doing a simple was going to pop that binding off at any moment. It was just wound way too tight for me. Now, I was also thinking about getting rid of my Gibson Les Paul Jr. double cut, but when I was there at the shop, I was like, no, I can't do it, man. It's got P90s. It's got the wraparound bridge. That one I love to play. I can't let it go. So I'll be holding on to that one. And quite a few other, you know, my Nashes I'll be keeping. Yeah. I'll have enough to cover a wall in the studio with guitars. So that's it. But there will be some good deals. If he buys the entire lot, then somebody's going to get some good deals, man. So that's that. But, oh, and I got to keep my pink Jackson. I love that pink Jackson. And the green one, the slime green one. Got to keep that. So that's part of the 50 I'm keeping. But yeah, I got a very, very large guitar collection. Like I said, from super high end all the way down to Squires. But with that said, I'll just end it there. Yeah. See, cool guitars like this, man. These are the ones I play all the time. They just sound. Just sound beautiful when you touch them. All right, Ford Fender, later.